Okay. All right. You're welcome. Welcome back today. Um, I hope you enjoy yourself throughout the week. Smith
It's been good enough. I
from
can't complain.
Nigeria. How is the country going with their football?
Well, that's something that is boring everybody at the moment. Something to to celebrate and
Okay,
be happy about.
that's good. Really good to know.
Yeah.
Right. If you look at the the chat box, there's a question I put there. And if you can have access to it, please, you can read it out for me and probably, you know, can provide answers to me.
Okay, it says on our chat box,
Yeah,
what defines prescriptive analytics in the realm of data analysis?
good. Yeah. What defines prescriptive analytics in the realm of data analysis? So, has anyone got answer to that effect?
What defines prescriptive analysis in one analysis?
So most of the answer to most questions are in the question itself.
Sure.
So yeah,
Is it the fact that we are leveraging on the quality of data to make insightful decisions?
absolutely, you're right. In fact, if we are in the physical now, supposed to be clapping like this for you. So prescriptive analytics recommends actions to optimize outcomes by leverage on prescriptive and descriptive models. So it's actually that is the answer. So really, you really try. Okay. Okay. So you have already literature from me on analytics. So prescriptive actually really recommends what it does. It recommends action to be taken in order to maximize profit and reduce costs. So one of these things is optimization process is about best practice to ensure that you minimize costs and maximize profit. Okay. If you optimize very well, definitely you create value, my profit margin, which is of course value that people buy into. So anyway you say prescriptive, you could say like, for example, you have a doctor, had doctor prescribe. What does it mean? Recommend. That's what it means. Okay, anytime anything you see like prescriptive is talking about something that need to be to optimize outcome by leveraging predictive and descriptive models. Have you heard of the word predictive? Predictive is like
To
forecasting
predict, forecast.
Yeah.
to predict, okay? And
Predictive.
then descriptive, if you look at the literatures I've given to you during training, you will also understand descriptive talking about describing, okay? But whether you are predicting or describing, at the end, especially when you have data visualized, you're gonna what? Recommend, prescribe. So it's very important. In fact, at the end of the day, it's about you actually what decisions that need to be made based on what is recommended. Okay, I'm going to use, for example, a healthcare, uh, a healthcare scenario, like a question from healthcare. You know, this question has been asked by an interviewer, in the healthcare sector. Can you provide an example of prescriptive analytics applied in healthcare?
Okay, I think from in healthcare, one could think the process of using going for tests to determine a situation before the prescriptions are given. I think that's one example.
And maybe the process of trying for a new drug to see if a drug is actually going to work. So there are there are trials of different drugs, and they'll finally test the one that's actually working. Analyzing the symptoms, side effects, and all that. I don't know if that makes sense.
Both of you are communicating.
That's right.
Yeah, both of you are really communicating. And which, of course, I'm very proud of you people on that, because no matter how it is, if you are asked questions like this, open your mouth and speak. Most of these questions are in the most of these the answer to these questions are in the question itself. Okay, we're talking about healthcare. Of course, you know what's happening in healthcare, and we're talking about prescriptive analytics. So you know that we're talking about recommendation. So now, prescriptive analysis can recommend personalized, okay, treatment plans. Do you see what I'm saying? Like Olu almost there, treatment plans
Yes.
by analyzing patient healthcare data. That means the data that they have before and what
Yeah.
have been, also tested, and historical treatment effectiveness. So this is what happened in NHS. Please take note of all these things, because this question came 2 times, some from a company who were recruiting for NHS. Okay, it's very important, and it can happen that you're working in a pharmaceutical company, or a private medical sector. You could be an employer as a data governance, and also or data analyst. So you are expected to know most for this thing. Okay. Right. Thank you. Really, really, really thank you. So I want to ask you, um, what challenge might arise when identifying effective treatment plans in prescriptive analytics? What challenge do you expect yourself to face?
Maybe incorrect medical history or no medical history.
Yeah,
The lack of information from the patient.
in fact, I'm very proud of you, Bumi. So it's really, really, yeah, that is one of these things. Yeah, actually identify the most effective treatment plans for patients with varying medical histories, and also condition that could be a significant challenge. Okay, so there could be condition that could be a significant challenge to people, but really identify the most effective treatment plans for patients with varying medical histories, because the history are not really kind of unstable. Those are the kind of challenge that, when you're going to carry out prescriptive, you really need to consider those challenges. When a treatment plan that need to be prescribed to somebody who has uh, not stable medical history. Tomorrow is that, another day is another day, is a different kind of. So those are challenges. But of course, those conditions could be a significant challenge. So you have to get the data right. That's very good. Very good. And, yeah, I'm going to ask, how did prescriptive analytics contribute to improving patient recovery rate? I'm talking about recovery rate. How do you think, how do you think prescriptive analytics contribute to improving patient recovering rate, yeah.
I think with prescriptive analysis, in addition to what they've said, because it's prescriptive analysis involves analyzing the patient's data.
Yeah.
So when they know what, say, for example, you go to the hospital, well, most of the time, once they ask you your date of birth, it brings up everything about you. So if you have any challenging health medical history in the past, it will bring it up.
Yeah.
If you have come from a family where you have things like diabetics and the rest, it will, of course, they would have asked you all those questions. So they will all bring it will bring up all those things.
That's
So
correct.
based on those data, they would know how to treat you, because like everything else, someone that's had cancer or another person that has cancer, is not the same treatment that is given to both of them. So treatment is based on whatever history they have of those people. Even in the same family, one person might have diabetics, another person might have a different type of diabetics, all in the same family. So one treatment plan does not fit all, but based on the data they've had from prescriptions in the past, from the history in the past, they're able to improve, give the patients whatever to improve their health and the rest of it. So it's just like all illnesses, even high blood pressure. You have families that have got high blood pressure, but I can't give one person one tablet and give the other person the same tablets. It might be a different tablet, or it might be a different gram of medication that I give to the other person. So, of course, so this is all prescriptive. This is all based on the data they've got from medical history and all that. I think I've prattled on too much.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. So any other person? Actually, you did very right. It's about it's a model. It's about carry out analysis of patient data and the treatment, as you said, the treatment outcomes, suggested personalized care plans, actually leading to what? To improve patient recovery rates. So it's just to look at the patient data, you analyze them. So that's the essence of you being a data analyst. You analyze them, what time, when this treatment was given, what was the result, what was the outcome, any progression or anything going not working well, what is the result, and then when this thing was given again at what time, this analysis. In fact, when you talk about analysis, you have to be even more critical in a way to look at the best way. So if you don't look at if you don't analyze a patient data as if it has said, it will be difficult to prescribe treatment and also have coming out with an outcomes that the patient may have it in terms of and that also results to you having a proper personalized care for plans for the patient yourself. So if they are well analyzed, you discover that it will lead to improve patient recovery rate. Talking about rates at this point. So do you have any question on that? Any question on that?
What's the opposite of prescriptive analytics?
Well, you're talking about opposite. What is prescriptive analysis recommendation, or why we have all the analysis like if you're not prescribing, what do you do?
If you're not prescribing.
Yeah, if you're not prescribing, what do you think you do? First of all, you talk about descriptive. Okay. You talk about you also talk about diagnostic as well. All right, that is the stage of when you have to diagnose. Then we'll talk about those processes, which of course that will result to prescriptive analysis, analytics. So we also have sentiment analysis as well, so which is quite different. That one actually focus on natural language processing to understand and categorize emotions expressed in textual data. So prescriptive is, in most cases, always the last thing. When you diagnose, you describe, and you prescribe. Okay. Look at the literatures I've given to you. You will see the answer there. So the next one is what role does prescriptive analytics play in optimizing decision making? This question is supposed to be number one question.
What role does prescriptive analysis play? It helps us make the best decision since we are checking from a list of variables.
Thank you. I love that. Has anybody got any question on that? Any other contribution?
Okay, armed with the empirical value of data at your disposal, it's easy to hit your target decision at any point in time.
That is really, really good. For prescriptive analysis guides decision making by what? Recommending tailored actions. I wanted to lay emphasis on it.
Tailored.
Yeah, because it's personal care plan. It must be tailored to the patients or tailored to, even if it has to be in business, it's not even when if we're not talking about healthcare. Any prescriptive analysis you want to give, it must be tailored to the business needs. Okay. So tailored actions based on data analysis, okay, ensuring optimized outcomes, as Bumi has said, in terms of decision making to various domains like healthcare, finance, business strategies. Okay. So you know what strategy means. Strategy means long-term plan.
Plan.
Okay, always take note of that, because you must tailor your action, your recommendation to based on your analysis, especially when you visualize your data and have a domain to which you take decisions, and also must be tailored to as a guide also to making that recommendation. Very, very important. Very, very important. Whether finance, whether healthcare, whether business, very important. Okay. All right.
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay. I think I'm going to ask some few questions on because you asked a basic question about the difference between prescriptive and any other word. So what characterize descriptive analytics?
What characterize? Okay, this one is describing.
Yeah.
What characterize descriptive analytics? To describe. Please, can you help us to explain what descriptive analytics means? Maybe that would help us.
I said it the other time that
To describe a problem.
That's correct. Yeah.
What will help me describe a problem? Descriptive analysis. No.
Hello.
Hello, we here.
Okay. Sorry, what was the question again? It says what
Characterizes prescriptive analytics. Analytics.
Descriptive.
Yeah,
Yes.
descriptive.
So descriptive analysis, it's involves collecting, organizing, and presenting data in a way to identify patterns, trends, that's to identify patterns, trends, and relationships, right? And so, for example, in the summer, you find that most of the shops stock summer clothes. In the winter, most of the shops stock winter clothes. So it tells us that in the summer, people don't buy winter clothes, but in the winter, people buy all the winter clothes. So that one helps the shops to know what to stock, because if they stock summer clothes in the winter, of course, they're going to lose on sales. So I think what it does is that it tells us what actions should be taken when things like that occur. So do we stock clothes in the summer? Do we stock winter clothes in the summer, or do we stock summer clothes in the winter? So it's actually based on historical data again. Thank you. So it focuses on historical data.
Yeah. So any other answer?
Descriptive analysis.
Actually, to be quite honest, if you said it all, you nail it on the head. What it does, descriptive analytics summarizes historical data to extract insights, that is understanding the past occurrence. That is what it does. Okay? That is what it does. It's different from diagnostic. Okay? So descriptive gives you the empirical data, like what Smith said the other time. That is what it does. Okay? So Bumi, we were talking about, you brought out data from, you gave me some data this week past.
Yeah.
You asked me question if I have to take decision on which data will I invest money on? You were shocked that because it's not the biggest view that I picked up. I was giving you, as a business analyst, as if I pick it from the business analyst side of it, I will not pick on the one you expect me to think I will. And I took you back. I gave you analysis. I don't know if you look at it that way before.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and by the time I was giving you all analysis I gave to you to have a domain to which I will not take decision in terms of, if in terms of decision making, based on what? Descriptive analytics. It was based on descriptive analytics. So you saw where I was coming from. So I only wanted you to concentrate on the data analysis aspect of it, analytics aspect of it. But your question pushed me from analytics to, business analyst side, where we have to take decision with stakeholders and also chief executive. So before we get to that aspect, because the amount to be invested right there, the occurrence, and we also have the glossary that we're there, and we're able to talk about it properly. I say you don't take decision like that. You have to look at the descriptive analytics aspect of it. That way now, what could be going retrogressively, what could go progressively, and with time, and why should that be? You have to be more critical when you are doing analysis. Despite that, you have profile all the data and analyze all the data, and also you carry out ETL or ELT at the same time. Or maybe you do more enrichment. I think I made mention of enrichment as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you should be able to know the domain to which you take decision if it's based on prescriptive. Okay. And if it's based on diagnostic, then you'll be able to also know how to take decision. But that is another case entirely. So it's about, historical data to extract an insight into reality, especially when you have past occurrence. That's what, Efe has said. She entered the question by giving examples. That's her gift. She's really good on that. She entered the question by giving example. And once you can get that example in of sales and whatever, yeah, you discover that you already have the concept known. Okay, that's good. Can you provide example? I'm asking this question for I think if we were already giving example, but I just want to know if any of you can give an example, other example on that. Barrister Manuel, you're welcome. Okay. Can anyone give can you provide an example of predictive analytics?
Predictive of descriptive analysis.
I'm just asking you now predictiveness. No, I'm not talking about prescriptive.
Okay. For example, maybe this before they got this coronavirus cure, there are several testing that was done on animal. They kind of reimagined the situations with animal first, testing the drugs with animal to see if it will actually work, before they could come up with the one that they sent out to the whole world.
That's good. I think what I will do, I think it would be nice for me to ask what characterize predictive analysis. Yeah, but in any case.
Okay. In addition to what Olu said was, with predictive analysis, you want to go to the bank to borrow money or to get a credit card. A lot of times the banks looks at your history and they find that those who default in payments or have had low scores for their credit card or credits are likely to default in payment. So they would not want to give that person, even when that person's circumstances have changed. Say, for example, I have defaulted in the past, then all of a sudden I have a job in excess of 100,000. Because of my past history of defaulting in payments, they'll probably say, do we give out the win? So they will likely not give me until, according to Nigeria, I go explain tire as to why. So they look at, so it's looking at past history, past behaviors to base their whatever they want to do on. That's what a lot of organizations do. So anything that's in the past is what they look at, even like healthcare, which we talked about before, your medical history past, even education. Oxford, before Oxford, university like Oxford will give you admission to study, they would look at your past history. How good were you in your A levels? How good were you in your secondary school? Even if you decide that you're going to clear all A's in your A levels, and then maybe you had C's in your secondary school exams, they will still look at that and say, maybe that was just a fluke. She managed to ace the A levels. How come she could not ace her GCSEs? So those are all predictive analysis to judge. So in other words, we use the past to judge the future.
Yeah.
I almost said praise the Lord there.
It's allowed, eh?
Thank you so much. If it's actually right, if anybody can give me another example similar to that.
Similar to that.
Very important, and
There's so many examples. Insurance companies always use our history to give us insurance. Do we give her insurance? She's defaulted in the past. Why do we give her insurance? Or she's had series of accidents where she's claimed. So why do we have to give her again? Because we don't want anybody that's coming to mar our credits and all that. So organizations are always using it all the time. Even in jobs, you apply for a job, they would ask you tell us about your previous roles, tell us about your previous self. Then if you say, in the first job, I stayed for 3 months, I was sacked. In the second job, I stayed for 2 months, I was sacked. I say, this one, history of sacking is with this one. No, please, we don't want anyone that's been sacked to be employed by this company. He obviously does not know what they are doing. So
Yeah,
organization,
you're right.
they look at, you've come into the country, you're an immigrant in the country. What is your employment history like? What is your antecedents like? What's your criminal record in the past? Those are all things that organizations use to judge us all the time. And of course, the one about race is quite common too.
That's good. Any other person? Okay. Thank you so much, because you are actually you're spot on the answer.
I think the bottom line is that they look at consistency or being persistent. That's the bottom line of these examples. They want to see, but having said that, like she did say, you could explain and be successful because that's why we have some financial institution, banks, or insurance company that even those with bad or that had previous bad credit could actually build their credit rating. And you'll be surprised that from nowhere, probably 300, it could actually climb up to 900. So it's in as much as they look at the fact that you've not been consistent in your payments, and they want to know why. That's why they said you could actually build your credit rating or records, and that's it. And also in terms of admission, that's why you also have some universities, obviously for Oxford, Cambridge, and some others, they want to see that consistency and that from your O levels, and even apart from the O levels, A levels, they want to even know where you're from. They want to know your family background. They want to know, So it's very important. That's why they have different committees and different departments that are set up to look at things like this. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Barrister. That is really very, very touching as well, because you hit the nail on the head. As you most probably know, that when we talk about predictive analytics, it actually, is about you use data to predict what you're gonna do with it. So, but in this case, predictive analytics involves predicting customer churn by analyzing past behavior, as you people have already said, and interactions anticipate a potential future attrition. On that basis, it's like you use the data that has been existing to predict what is going to happen. Based on that, you use it to kind of have an informed decisions. Sometimes you also need to be critical when it comes to things like you say, however, something may have changed, and what could be the reason why things have changed, or why was it that this person has not been meeting non-returns, or probably direct debit or whatever. So if thing has changed, when has the thing changed? And right from that, the time the thing has changed, maybe got a new job, as a face said, what has been his behavior in terms of having maybe a direct debit? Is it performing well? So on this basis, let's just give a trial. If really you want to give a trial, but you can also have a decision to make? How long will you give a trial for? So as a data analyst, for example, you can be critical and get things really kind of help the business analyst to make some decisions based on what you visualize or what you have seen. Is very important. But thank you so much for those answers that have been given. And I tell you, you really have done well. Because decision making is the essence of all these things anyway. So what is a common challenge that most likely that predictive analytics related to a customer show will be? Or if your hands up.
Yes, so I was going to say, so most of the purpose of these questions is more to do with data analysts, right?
Of course, that's why we.
Okay, not with data governance manager.
No, but as a data governance manager, because you know a little about data analytics is very important, and you also need to know these things because we have some people here already. Their mindset is just towards data to become a data analyst. So on that basis, asking them these questions are very important, and it's so important for data governance as well.
Okay, and that's Olu, right?
Well, we have other people who, as a matter of fact, you can do data analysis as well. So really, because almost everybody coming for this training, we train them both ways anyway. So, right, I have a question there. What is a common challenge in predictive analytics related to customer churn? What is a common challenge? Very common.
Is the common challenge in predictive analytics related to customer churn?
I think on challenges, we spoke on the fact that when it comes to finance, that could be something that could affect a lot of organization, and also having the human personnel or the human resources that are capable of doing the job to maximize profits and to ensure that the quality assurance or the standards are met. And that's why some organization, or a lot of organizations that we know that are doing very, very well, they spend a lot of money in ensuring that staff are motivated. So if the motivation is not there, you find out that the way people or staff live in terms of staff retention, people will just be coming and going like that, which is not good for an organization. Thank you. I think I'll stop there.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Any other person?
What about if the data?
Okay, sorry, go on, Olu.
No, go on. Let me hear what you want to say.
Okay, I was going to say, in addition to what Barrister Emmanuel said, customer churn now is when customers stop doing businesses with organizations based on past history. Say, for example, now we talked about credit card earlier on. Who do they give credit cards to? They would rather give to the wealthy than to give to those who are not wealthy. So before you know it, customers start living that. When they see that that's a common trend, people will say, don't go to banks like this, or don't go to banks like that. They don't listen to us who are in the minority. They only want the rich people to trade with them. So it comes to dissatisfaction amongst the customers, and then before you know it, that bank starts losing customers, and then they start forcing their staff to go out again and get customers. Meanwhile, it's their attitude that has caused those customers not to come. So a common challenge in predictive analysis is when there's a number of when the number of biases occur. Say, for example, they're not bringing out the true picture of what is happening, because some people, say like the sales front people, they could hide the fact that that is happening by altering their datas. They could alter their data to saying, yeah, we have a lot of customers. Then at the end of the day, the books are reading that, no, we do not have that many customers. So organizations, again, do that. They present a false front to make it appear like things are going well, when things are not really going well. I know there was a case recently of a young Nigerian guy who's had this issue now about whether he's been telling lies about what amount of money he has and what he does not have, because he went ahead to say he wanted to purchase a number of things, and they found out that he was not being truthful about what the true picture of his finances were, that he was falsifying finances. So that's one of the challenges. It could be that people are falsifying data to get a buyer's view. So they're not getting the true picture because they want to make it appear like the majority class is winning and the minority class is losing. I don't know if...
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, CEO, sorry, just to add to what CEO has said, in fact, that was a very classic examples. And just to buttress that, in the UK, we remember what happened to Nigel Farage.
Okay.
In fact, when Courts Bank said that they couldn't actually open an account for him, and it led to, in fact, a lot of managers and staff were sacked. You know, you find out that they just close people's bank cards. In fact, at will. They don't even explain to you why they've closed your bank account.
That's correct.
You know, and also to add to that, too, I think probably if it was trying to also add the example of Tesco, when Tesco misrepresented the position of their books.
Their records.
Yes, and they were fined, in fact, a lot of money. Yeah, and I think the Nigerian was talking about wanted to buy football clubs or something, and that they found out that this guy was actually misrepresenting his account. So it's very important that honesty, in fact, honesty, and also be open, be open, tell it as it is, not just cooking the books.
Yeah, thank you so much. I am so impressed with this answer coming. I hope Olu, you're getting this. The reason why I really
I'm trying to digest everything and understand them
don't
more.
worry, I'll make it more to you.
Thank
Okay.
you.
We are talking about, at this time, significantly, we're talking about predictive analytics. So what is, the word is, is not plural. We're talking about is. What is a very common challenge, very, very common in predictive analytics? You want to predict something, and your prediction can be wrong if you have wrong data. Do you know that?
Yes.
It's about data quality. So if the data are crooked, you're going to have a problem. You will predict right. You will from your prediction, you will have professionally, you predict right, but it's going to be wrong later. Why?
Yeah.
The data in which you are, they are not trusted. Because you have to query you have to look at the data, whether are they trusted. If they are certified, for you to say, well, they are trusted, they are certified by the chief executive who is in charge of those data. It's just like we carry our research in PhD or whatever. How trusted is the source of your data matters. So really, you want to predict. I have two people hands up now. Let me give them the opportunity because I got a lot to talk about this, really. Okay, who's on FA? Us.
Yeah. So one that's very common amongst us Africans is coming into the country on falsified ages. So we don't give our actual date of birth. We use falsified dates of birth. And then I'm saying this now because it's personal to me. My dad came in, of course, when he came in at that time, I'm talking about the 50s, 60s, when he came into the country. He didn't come in with his right age. So when it was time for him, so at the time he was meant to collect his pension, he couldn't collect his pension because the age that was on the book and the age he says it is were two different age. So that's one of the common things which a lot of us Nigerians, Africans, I would say generally, we do. We come in on falsified age. And then when it's time, and then when you're going for medical examinations and the rest, they tell you, oh, this is common amongst people of this age group. You're only 40. Why are you? And this is something that is common amongst people of late 50s or 60s. How come you're saying you're having that condition when you're only 40? We have to look at this closely. In your heart of heart, you know that you are 50. Meanwhile, you've come, you say you're 35. It happens amongst footballers where they will say they are 23, when in actual fact they are 36 or something. There's a certain footballer who I'm not going to mention his name. And then you're having all these conditions associated with someone of an older age group, and then you are mute, you can't say anything. So this is all incidents of falsifying data. But that common one about the younger age and not being able to collect pension when it's time for you to collect pension is a very common one.
Yeah, thank you so much for that instance. Barrister?
Sorry, I was actually going to give the examples of the census.
Okay.
In some countries that will know, they falsify. In fact, apart from the census, even the electoral register, you'll find out that because they've done a lot of falsification, and when it's the time for people to actually the turnout for the votes, you'll be surprised that it's far, far, far less than, because they use all sorts of what do you call it? I understand some even use kernel as the thumb print. So you can imagine for yes, it's it's about fraud. Just being fraudulent or fraud doesn't lead one anywhere. Scams. It's just about just for us to be open and be ensure that we do things the right way. That's what data is all about, putting things straight, putting things the way they should be. Because if you don't do things right, at the end of the day, like our CEO said, it will definitely backfire. Even if it's not now, in the future, it will backfire.
Of course.
So let's do things the right way. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I want to lay emphasis on this because of those who want to really specialize in data analysis. So if you want to be a data analyst in terms of predictive analytics, you must know that the common problem is about data. If data has no integrity, you're going to face challenges. So anticipating factors that significantly contribute to potential customer attrition can be a challenge in predictive analytics. Barrister Manuel, your hand is up. Is it the old one? Or okay, thank you. So a common challenge in predictive analytics related to customer attrition is the availability and quality of data. If data lacks quality, it does not produce a profit margin expected. So which of course we're talking about value to buy into. So predicting churn typically requires historical data on on customer behavior, demographics, interactions, okay, and also other relevant variables that, like what if Barrister Emmanuel was relating to the other time. However, obtaining this comprehensive and accurate data can be sometimes be very difficult due to various, reasons, okay? And which reason that you think will be difficult, making them to be difficult? What do you think may be difficult? Because some of them could be data quality issues. And when you talk about data quality issues, what do you think will be an issue that may arise in data quality?
Incorrect information.
That's correct. Incorrect. Inaccurate. Use the word inaccurate.
Inaccurate.
Incomplete.
Inconsistent.
Inconsistent data. This one can lead to unreliable predictions. This can arise from errors in what? In data collection right from the beginning, data entry and storage. These are the things. Please, I know Bumi will be on fire on this because it's very important if you want to really be strong in data analysis. Okay. And another reason could be data integration. So on this issue is like data integration could be like customer data may be scattered across different systems. Okay. You have different domains, you have different systems like that, and they just scatter probably wrong information, inconsistent, incomplete data in one of the, and you want to integrate them together. So if they are scattered, you're going to have a problem. All departments within an organization, making it challenging to integrate and analyze effectively. So, and also one of the issue could be like data privacy and compliance issue. So concerns about data privacy regulations, such as a GDPR or CCPA, can restrict the collection and usage of data, customer data for predictive analytics purposes. This actually limit the scope and depth of available data. When they say, oh, privacy and compliance issue, you can't collect this data, but so then you really want to make sure you get the data right sometime on time to make sure you have a domain to which you can predict. So, and also probably could be data volume and velocity. They could be the reason why, what does that mean? It's about handling large volumes of data in real time or near real time can be very, very demanding, sometimes requiring robust infrastructure and processing capabilities. If you have a system that is robust enough to handle such as well. And sometimes one of the reasons why one could having a problem of in predictive issues relating to data is about seasonality and external factors. That's why if it was kind of relating to the other time when she was answering one specific question, like external events and seasonal trends can influence customer behavior and churn rates, making it challenging to build accurate predictive models that account for such factors. So addressing this challenging also require a combination of data processing, which of course that's why you're going to carry out data analysis and maybe do some profiling as processing. You can use Power BI to look at those things probably or any other tools. And also advanced analytic algorithms and also collaborating across different functional departments, teams, and within organization to ensure data quality and accessibility for predictive model purposes. Sometimes it might be really be how you prepare your program to avoid such anyway. So is that clear?
Good from here.
Okay, you said we can solve this by collaborating across different functional teams to ensure data quality and accessibility.
Yeah.
What other things can we do again to solve this challenge?
I think that's what I have mentioned to you.
I didn't hear you clearly. You are so fast.
Okay. Basically, when you are doing that, you can address it with a combination of data processing techniques. By using Power BI or any other tools to address it, especially when we talk about data integration and data quality. Okay. And when you're talking about data privacy and compliance, when you do not have really access in the real time or near real time, you can also collaborate across functional department by telling them the gravity or the importance of getting those data properly. Okay. Let me put some of these things in the chat box for you so that you can. You want to see in the chat box?
Yes.
It's okay. Let me go there and you will see what I kind of put there. So to help you, have you seen that?
Yes.
Okay, so please do all right. Okay. All right. Yep. Okay. All right. I'm going to ask part of the question I'm going to ask you to is the answer to it have been given in a way, but I'm taking in a different form. How did prescriptive analytics reveal insight into reducing customer churn?
What they present insight into reducing customer churn. It helps us to identify the reason why they are living in the first place and help us to address it.
Any other person? How did the predictive analytics reveal insight into reducing customer churn?
I think
Yeah.
like maybe, for example, now having to understand these people's behavior, you have their past behavior, you have the pattern of the behavior. I think it makes the organization better equipped and efficient to be able to come up with resources and maybe strategy to help
Yeah,
retain.
that is the word. That is the word I want to hear from you. That is the word. Having known this, you carry out your assessment and see what's going on. Having known this, yeah. Having known this, you are expected to respond quickly. How will you do that? You identify the lengthy response times to customers' queries, significantly increase churn, and implementing faster response, actually its response strategies successfully reduce churn rates. Like the other time you were talking about incomplete data, in terms of data quality, talking about incomplete data, inconsistency, and if you look at the rating, if it is critical, your response has to be fast. And you also need strategy, you need a strategical plan to ensure that your response has to be fast in order to meet up what is expected in terms of quality and integrity of the data. Okay. And okay, if your hand is up.
In addition to what Olu said, for example, in the past, when you go through the airport, there was a matter of patting you down to check. So back in the 70s, it was a matter of patting you down to check if you've carried drugs or if you've carried any contraband goods. But nowadays, when they found that those were giving false results, like maybe in a month, they would say, oh, no one passed through here with drugs, but they knew drugs were going through. They decided to install things like sensors that will automatically pick up these things. They started to bring dogs in. They started to bring more experts in. So those falsified results of the past gave rise to them doing things in a different way, bringing in more equipment, bringing in better technology to be able to get hold of these things that were falsified in the past. So those are some of the things that these falsified results resulted in them doing.
Absolutely. That's it, because response to what has been going on, and you need to have a strategy robust enough to accommodate, to take care of those is very important. There are queries that we call customer queries that will come, and also your response matters. And by so doing, if it's so robust enough, if we reduce successfully such rates of churn, that's very good. Okay. You get that, everyone?
Yes.
Okay. That is a best practice anyways, not just a analytical question. It's not an analytics question, but your response, that's also a best practice as well. It's one of the best practice. So how does a predictive analytics contribute to proactive decision making? Everybody must answer to this one. I must have answer to this now. How does it?
I think we just said it now.
I think what has been said.
Exactly.
What has been said?
Like maybe having this data in hand, help us to make the best decision as regards intervention, retention approach, strategies, because we already have this data, we can analyze them, so we know where continuous improvement is needed, what we need to refine to get more input. And you know what they say about early detection? Once you detect something earlier on, it's easy for you to control and, plan it. So with this data we have now, we are able to, the business is able to do what maybe targeted marketing or recommendation or maybe targeted business behavior.
And most of all, stop them losing more money.
That's correct. Okay. Yeah. That's correct. I love the answer given. So what predictive analytics does, it empowers businesses to forecast future trends.
Okay.
Yeah, so future trends enabling proactive decision making based on anticipated outcomes, because you already have past data. Yeah, if your hands up.
I'm going to use someone on this call now who is a baker. She's a very good chef and baker. Apologies for calling out Noble, but she bakes very well. She cooks very well. So I guess based on her previous data, maybe in the past when she was cooking for customers, they were saying, the food is not so tasty, the cake is not so good. So she went back to the drawing board, quickly intervened, now looked at her recipes, said, okay, maybe I'm using enough of this, or I'm using too much of that, and or this and that. And before you knew it, her cakes are fantastic now. Her meat, her jollof rice is, God knows, it makes me to forget my name sometimes.
Yeah, not only I usually forget my name when I eat.
I'm not telling her food, but I'm just saying that I guess based on
it is the opportunity to sell her food. I don't have any problem. This is my platform, so I really want to, because I'm supporting you. I have eaten half. In fact, I told her next time I will be taking porridge tablets for 3 days, and also for her cake, I will be coming with self-addressed envelope to her, so that if I forget my name, they can post my envelope to me. So from her previous data now, we can predict what's going to come next. If you are ordering anything from her, people, no, we know her. Why? Because previous records. You can now predict the trends and how things will be decision making. It's very important. And that's if you're so good in getting things done from example.
Yeah.
I want to say yes. So you need to have a word with Ife, so that Shuku,
That,
shuku.
that is a perfect example. And
Mm.
also from the legal point of view,
Mm,
that's why we have probation reports.
that's correct. I love that. Oh, I love that. I love that.
One is probation report.
A barrister, it's a what's probation report.
So you say you love that. So you wanted to explain that.
Yeah, okay. I can explain to you because, but it's better explained by you anyway. Because
Okay.
let me explain. You correct me.
Sorry? Okay, go on.
So probation report is based like is pre-assessment carried out on signing
Pre-sentencing report.
the sentencing report. So okay, yeah, I've been corrected. So continue from there. Barrister?
Sorry, before someone, let's say after someone has been found guilty by the jury,
Okay.
the judge will normally say that before he passes his sentence,
Mhm.
a social worker should do what we call pre-sentencing report. And that report will say everything about the person.
Mm.
So the data will bring data from left, right, center, and that will determine the length of the sentence, or if I give you a very good example. There is this, in fact, this is going live on YouTube. Some people, there's this person that said, well, he doesn't really believe that there's God, but there was something that happened that made him say that, yes, there's actually a supreme being. Do you know the probation report that was prepared? No, before the probation report was actually prepared, or the pre-sentencing report, the judge told the defendant that, or the plaintiff, he told the plaintiff that he is definitely going to be returned back to his country. This is somebody that has a family here, a wife, and also 5 children. And you now went to prepare the report. Before, in fact, this guy has already told family members not to come to court, that he's definitely going to go down. He's definitely going to be sent to prison. And after serving the term of the sentence, he's going to be returned to his country. Do you know a friend decided to go to court that day, and he saw what we call miracle, in quote, miracle. Do you know the judge that said that it was reading the probation report? So what sort of probation report is this? You know, do you know there and then the judge became sick? He became literally sick. He couldn't continue. He was throwing up. And at the end of the day, this matter had to go to another judge had to come. When he read the probation report, he said, what was that judge saying? He said, who's going to take care of the children? Do you know this gentleman was given, if I was given suspended sentence, and the judge made an order that he's not going to be sent anywhere.
Yeah.
So you could see the importance of that probation report or that pre-sentencing. A judge that looked at the matter said this is what was going to happen, but another judge looked at it and said no, that this person is not going anywhere, except of course it was given suspended sentence of 2 years or thereabout, and was if anything happens, you're going to be recalled. But in any event, it's not making any order for him to be sent back to his country. So that's the importance of reports. And also, that's why in law, the legal parlance, we have what is called, that's why they always say, has he got any previous offense? So they look at what we're saying at the end of the day, what we're saying, we look at the historic, what has happened previously, and we use that to forecast the future.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So you got that already, isn't it?
Olu, was that clear? Was that
Yes.
did I make myself clear?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
So as a data analyst, you must know what the source of your data, if they have quality. I must see the performance of those data over the years. It could be not just here talking about season or like winter, summer, whatever, that would.
Sorry, also to add to that, that's why when you go to court, where you have the experts, they want to know the antecedent of the person. The doctor, okay, if you're a doctor, what have you done in the past? Have you done similar matters? What are your success rates? So they want to really know. And with that, they will say, okay, this person knows what he's saying or he's talking about. Thank you.
That's correct. Thank you so much, Barrister. So that is why, you need to get your data right. And also trust the history of your data, the source of your data. If you know you do not trust them, you need to do a lot of, analysis, so transformation, profiling as well. So it's very important. Okay.
And that is why researches are usually you have to really say the source where you're getting your authorities from.
Yeah, because
there have to be empirical research and also
especially when you research, it becomes secondary data.
Yes.
You understand? So okay. I feel like stopping, but then for the purpose of data analyst that is here, I like asking what defines diagnostic analytics. And when that question is asked, it's trying to tell you what does diagnostic analytics imply. Remember, I have always said that the answer to questions normally are found.
That's what I'm going to say. First of all, in answering that question, what does diagnostic means? When you say this person has been diagnosed with XYZ, or when you say we have to diagnose this car to see what is wrong with the car. That's the basis in which we take it from. This is just a lead.
So it makes you delve deeper into the data. If
Absolutely.
you want to, you go, first of all, you just carry it to the mechanic. The mechanic is okay. I need to go deeper to find out why it's doing what it's doing. Yeah. So that delving deeper into the issue, what is causing that thing. And then based on that, you analyze the historical data. Does the car behave that fashion before? Has it ever had an engine issue before? Blah, blah, blah. Who was the past owner? The person. So they look at the MOT of that car. They look at the service of that car. And then they're able to diagnose they're able to come out with an outcome, with a data outcome. So basically it's looking at in detail.
And yes, to add to that, that's why a lot of countries or a lot of economies today, some countries that we already know, this is what they don't do. They don't actually, this is how we're going to solve the problem. Without going to the basis, what has caused this problem? How do we get this problem? They just say, okay, we are going to solve the problem without looking at what has actually caused the problem. You cannot repair a car or you can't work a car without doing the proper diagnostics. And that's why, in fact, we always talk about in our profession, all the doctors, they can't do anything or without saying that this person has a formal diagnostics of this. You have to check first. You have to carry out the test to know what this person has been. In fact, I give the example of my dad. He went for a checkup at the University of Benin Teaching Hospital. At the end of the day, they didn't check his diagnostics. All they just did, they gave him an injection and he went into coma. I always tell people that that's why I went to do a master's in social work. I wanted to do a master's in consumer law. But in further research, I said, well, as a solicitor, you ask for people, but as a social worker, you actually you work with vulnerable people. And at the end of the day, quite frankly, everyone is vulnerable at every point in time.
Well, that's correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So I think you were saying something about knowing a little bit of everything. That's why they say the legal does, the lawyers are learned. The fact is that they tend to know a lot about everything. And that is what we do here in this class or this training.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
With this law,
to be quite to be quite honest, it's about principle and practice and policy and best practice. That's what matters. So, Olu, you getting what analytics, diagnosis analytics defines?
Yes.
Okay, so you're gonna put a few of them together and see why. Basically, it focuses on exploring data to identify causes, like what Barrister said, behind specific trends and events. So if you have empirical data and look at when they were there was a predictive analysis given and what was the result of those predictive analysis. And if you look at them and see if they were wrong or were wrong, no, we look at the root cause of everything as well. Okay, matters. All right. So that is what it entails.
That's a very good word to use, the root cause.
The root cause, yeah.
The root cause, yes.
So, for example, can you now give an example of when diagnostic analytics might be employed in an online business scenario? Everyone need to get this.
Let me kickstart it. In an organization, okay, you use the business. The example FAO CEO gave the other time.
Yeah.
When it's winter, you'll find out that a lot of supermarkets or a lot of factories, what they do, they concentrate on wares that will stand the weather, the cold. And when it's summer, they go for that because they've actually done their research and they found out that during winter, a lot of people go for winter clothing, and summer, I mean, you hardly see. In fact, in social care, when we do assessment, sometimes you ask, does it know how to be appropriately dressed? When they ask that question, you'll be surprised. You'll say, oh, what does that? What's that? But they're actually trying to see this person's cognition. Because at the end of the day, when it's unlike some countries where it's very, very hot, you see them wearing jackets that we wear here or in Morocco, But so it's the fact is that they actually research the market and see what the people actually need at every point in time. Yes, in making their decision.
Yeah. That is really stunning. Our response is on point. So, Olu, are you coming out with something or are you talking with somebody?
No, I'm just trying to say that, okay, for example, online business, they have to do with delivery of their orders.
Yeah.
I think this analytics can help to understand how to know the cost of delivering to a particular location, or maybe why people in a particular location don't actually patronize the business.
That is
something like
that. Another crucial example you just gave. Online.
In fact, adding to what Olu just said, the post office has branches in the hinterland everywhere. But the post office is actually struggling. Companies like Amazon, although they are doing very well, but they cannot do what, in fact, the post office is trying to say that they want to stop Saturday delivery. They were even saying that they want to make deliveries 3 times a week.
In a week.
Yes. But journalists or managers of some top companies are saying that post office don't actually know their strength. Because if they know their strength, because they have brand, they have buildings
Mm.
all over, even in the villages that you think that companies like Amazon or those BB companies might not go to. But if they actually use that strength they have, they won't be complaining that they will, the fact that they don't have enough money, they want to drop staff. That is what the union is actually saying. So
yeah,
it's
advice those people doing that because they have data to prove.
yeah, that is it, because they have data.
People who has got those data, they don't know that they have the data. But other people who have the data, they're telling them their strength is bigger than what you think.
Yes, in fact, speaking about the post office, I'm not sure if we've actually dealt with this here in this. The importance of using the right data, not falsified data.
Yeah.
People were sent to prison. Those people that were running post offices, some of them were sent to, because the computer, there was computer glitch. And at the end of the day, the companies, they were not telling the truth. So now they are paying a lot of money to some of these people.
That's the cost of non-compliance and not data that are not reliable. That's why it's good to diagnose the data very well. So if you don't do that, your data may not have integrity. When we're talking about integrity, in most cases, in fact, I was training, and even in my teaching, I was teaching, lecturing some group of managers, and I told them about honesty. The honesty simply means truth, and you can be honest, but you may not have integrity. So the difference between honesty and integrity is that you speak the truth, that's honesty. But if you speak the truth, walk in the truth. So that's integrity. So if you walk in the truth, then there is credibility. And when you are credible, then someone can trust you. So if data are not true and they don't have integrity, they're not credible, that can be trusted. So like example Barrister gave with respect to post office, that is all over the world now. It's all over the internet. So news all over. I was listening to LBC analysis. I discovered, I discovered that the data we were having were not having integrity. So people were sent to prison and they caused them. So there is a risk and compliance issue. So that resulted to, Barrister, are you still there? You remember?
Yes, a lot of them were made bankrupt.
Okay, so that really affected them.
Ridiculous
Yes.
Basically,
what diagnostic analytics might be employed in an online business scenario might really investigating the reason behind the decrease in probably in website traffic, despite the increase of marketing expenditure would require diagnostic analytics. So on that basis, like what Olu said the other time, it is important that, for example, now you see along the Red Sea, you see there's Houthis attack on the vessel passing through there. If there are things that need to come, if you order something on a website, for example, so they're going to be delayed. So right now you need to, first of all, carry out diagnostic analytics why the online, activities kind of a little bit delayed, and you're able to deal with it one way or the other. So integrity matters. Integrity is really, really important in dealing with data as well. Otherwise, the effect could appear as iceberg, very small on top, but underneath is very massive. And it can lead to reputation damage, image issues, and other things that you can think of. Okay, maybe the last question. Okay, What challenge might arise when trying to determine the cause of decreased user engagement in an online campaign? What do you think will be a challenge? What do you think is a challenge that may arise when trying to determine the cause of decrease for user engagement in an online campaign? It could be business.
Some maybe the website has not been properly designed, so it does not attract people. The attractiveness of the website.
Okay.
Maybe they're not sending their message properly across. You find that amongst a lot of Instagram users who do businesses, sometimes their websites, when you look on their sites, it doesn't give you an accurate picture of what you're looking for. So that, of course, go into your website, there's no cost or price. After searching and I find I can't even see what I'm looking for, I just move on to the next site and say, you know what, this person's not even serious. And then sometimes the way they present the things is not well done.
Okay.
So lots of times people get attracted to websites that are attractive. Say, for example, I like to shop in a place like Next because they put beautiful dresses out there. They look at what I have been doing. They look at the trends. They observe what I have been doing in the past. So they put things that will attract my attention.
Wow.
They will put beautiful dresses, beautiful shoes, beautiful bags, because they know that once they put that there, I'm likely to get attracted to it. But then again, for some older, maybe pensioners or older retired people, they might decide to put things like attractive blankets and rugs and things that will make them warm and comfortable in their homes is what they will put on there. So those are some of the things that they have to keep looking at factors, the users, how much to engage the users in. It happens all the times on Facebook. If you go into Facebook, if you look at furniture, for example, in Facebook, the next thing, the algorithm starts sending you different different pictures of furniture and the rest. But if you're going in there and you're finding that today you go in there and look at furniture, the next thing they're sending you pots and pans, the next thing they're sending you apple cider vinegar, you'll disengage from that website and say, you know what, they don't even have anything to offer. So those are some of the things those are some of the challenges that they face, trying to determine why users are decreasing.
Okay, that's very.
What can they do to make it better?
I think where they also have negative reviews.
That's another.
Absolutely, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Although I think that was an area we touched the other day. There are some companies that actually pay people to do reviews, but at the end of the day, the government actually doing everything possible to, because with online business now and with the way things are going, people rely, in fact, customers rely on feedback or reviews. So if you've been misled by a review and at the end of the day, what they said they were going to deliver wasn't what was delivered, even in services.
I think there's a bill that coming out on that.
Yes. Thank you.
In fact, Barrister Emmanuel just reminded me of air conditioning units. A friend of mine, air conditioning units, they sell most of them for £100, them £300 plus. The person decided, saw this on one of these Facebook page where they were selling them for £50. And the person said, I've seen air conditioning unit for, I think it was around about £50. I'm going to buy 3. So the person went ahead and she bought 3 for £50 each, which came to 150. Being mindful of the fact that I bought my own for 300 plus, they decided to go ahead and say, you know what, they got, you know what they say in Nigeria, Shipati could run bene. When the air conditioning units came, it was the sign of, the small water bottles we have, the 500 ml. That was a small. It couldn't even blow the face of the person. That is what they say, that is all that glitters. So they put this photograph of a big air conditioning unit for £50, and the person bought it.
It's like Temu. It's Temu you see all those things.
All right. Olu, have you got the insight into what they're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can always look at that. Smith, have you
So,
got any other answer? Basically, what I can give here is identify specific advertising channels and campaigns that lead to decreased user engagement could pose a challenge. So when you use some specific channels and other things, a campaign, it can lead to, but if you have a more robust way of engaging the end user, your client, you are bound to increase your online business. Okay.
yeah.
And thank you so much, everyone. If you have any question, please do ask, or you can ask me much later. I kind of exceeded the time I expected myself to spend here. I have other things to really do. By the way, Smith, is Nigeria too hot? Because I can see you really cleaning sweat all the time. Is it too hot? Or you need the air condition, the demo?
I need 4 of that.
Hulu, you want to supply that online too?
That's some deal, eh? If somebody buys an air condition for over 300, you want to buy 3 for for 150. Wow.
How is the weather like in Nigeria at the
The
moment?
weather is quite conducive now. The Harmattan is blowing a bit now.
Okay.
It's just that there's no electricity at the moment.
Don't worry about that. Weather is common.
So the customer engagement in Nigeria is for generators.
Yeah, generators, solar systems, and all that.
Yeah. Oh, it's well. Okay, thank you for coming. I really enjoyed everyone. To be quite honest, Barrister, you really very stunning today. Olu, I thought you really prepare yourself to become a data analyst as well. If very phenomenal from example point of view.
Examples,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, we really keep to your examples very, very well as well. Barrister, the concept explanation is amazing, very amazing. This is one thing I enjoy in this class. Smith, in fact, to be quite honest, I must thank you for summoning the courage to come all the way from overseas Nigeria. I know, but in fact, you owe us, you
Jollof rice, that jollof rice.
and every other thing, especially meat pie. So we thank God for everyone. I mean, at least we're learning something. Olu, I hope you learned something today as well.
Yes, I did.
That's good.
Speaking about sorry, Smith, how good is the solar system in Nigeria? Would you really advise solar system?
Yeah. We have